So, welcome to Zach and Martin at the Movies episode. Well, you can just look down and figure out what episode this is. 6 or 7, clearly.
Episode of a lot.
Episode of We've Done Way Too Many. Ha ha! I'm a little awkward right now. It's okay.
Martin, Zach.
At the Movies. Episode Next One I Lied.
6.
We're going with 6, even though I think it's 7.
No, Lincoln counted as its own.
No, Lincoln was an episode.
It didn't say episode on there.
It does say episode on there.
It doesn't. It just said Lincoln.
It should say episode.
It doesn't. I can prove it to you.
You know what? I will prove this right now.
It says Lincoln. That's it.
I am proving to Zach right now that he's a failure.
Watch. Watch for Martin's face when he's wrong.
Well, the only way I'd be wrong is if you change the title of the episode.
I didn't change the title of the episode. It just wasn't that title. That's it. That's all.
Episode 6. Episode 5, Lincoln.
Oh, I guess so.
Hi, this is episode 7.
Okay, 7.
So we're up to episode 7. That's a long introduction.
There's a long
And a debate over what episode we're up to. So episode 7, we're talking about 2 films this time around. But before we get to the films, Zach, how was your holidays, Thanksgiving?
It was good, actually. Got to sit down with the family, everybody. Everybody was there. It was nice. I haven't done that in a really long time.
Cool. I had a Thanksgiving lunch here in this room.
Luncheon,
yeah, with people. And then I went and visited my dad. It was a good Thanksgiving. Just in case you out there who are watching this were wondering, man, I wonder what they did for their Thanksgiving.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either, but you know. All right, so movie number 1. Movie the first.
Yeah, the first.
It's only the first because we saw it first. We saw both of these on the same day. First off is Red Dawn.
Red Dawn. Which I will right now say was a good movie by itself as a separate movie if they wouldn't have casted Josh Peck. If he would have been out of this movie completely and cast somebody else, the movie would have been awesome. But still not better than the original and still had a crappy ending.
All right, is it my turn to talk?
But I would still say that he was the main issue in this whole entire movie.
For Zach, he was the main issue in this whole entire movie.
Go ahead.
I didn't like it. I'm going to agree with that. Josh Peck was not good. It felt like he didn't know how to open his mouth when he was talking. So he just kind of mumbled everything. I agree too. The movie just has, it's a crappy ending to a movie. Like, and I'm taking this, I haven't even started comparing it to the original yet. I'm not there yet. I felt like it had just way too many, like, I mentioned it to you in the theater, those nameless characters.
Yeah.
It had way too many just nameless characters,
that you didn't really care about.
Yeah, that you didn't care about. Like, if you look at the poster, those are really the only characters of the Wolverines who you are supposed to care about.
Yeah.
And there's like another 4 or 5 Wolverines that one of them you don't even learn their name until after they're dead. So, and that was more annoying. Now, I'm going to start comparing it to the original. Red Dawn, not a bad movie. By far, it's not the worst movie we've seen. It's not as bad as Chronicle. It's not as bad as Ghost Rider.
Not even close.
It might, however, have a strong contention for the biggest waste of money other than Ghost Rider. Because Chronicle, technically, we saw for free. Technically. That's me personally. This is a personal opinion. And the box office showed it, too. This movie did horrible at the box office.
There were better movies.
There was one better movie.
Okay, in our eyes, there was one better movie.
In the public's eyes, there were 6 better movies.
There were 6 better movies.
But yeah, to compare it to the original, I'd actually watched the original the day before. First off, about the original, I loved the fact that it summed up what was going on at the time, because the original doesn't take place in the modern time. It takes place in its own universe.
Yeah.
And it sums it up by like 3 text screens of words just telling you how it's different. This Red Dawn felt like it was taking place now and not in its own timeline. And it had this long, 3-minute credit introduction to cover that it's modern.
And it was TV spots, too. It wasn't, like, you said that in the theater after it got done. You're like, that could have been summed up the same way in the original.
Yeah.
With, like, a couple texts, and that was it. But instead, they went for the TV spots, which kind of cut out and cut in.
Yeah, and the fact that they were setting it modern and they weren't changing, like, this wasn't its own alternate universe, they really didn't need that. Because if it's modern, it's just modern.
Yeah.
You are accepting it's modern, And
you'll understand that this is where you are.
Another thing, and this is old movies in general like this. The original, you had like 4 lines of dialogue between the two brothers, and then you had paratroopers. And this one, there was like 15 minutes of character development, which...
Martin hates character.
I don't hate character development. I just really liked that. Let's get right into the plot. Let's take our 2 hours and spend it on these kids fighting these gorillas instead of let's take an hour and a half to do it and take a half hour to do our opening credits, do a summation of the characters, wrap up the story at the end. Like the original, it was 2 hours of them against...
Yeah. Continuously them against it. Not like in this... In this one, it was more of, like you said, character development, and there was more
strategy.
More strategy and evolution of Josh's character, like becoming
the man.
Yeah.
One of the things I pointed out in the theater,
evolution.
We like watching Just Some Random Guy, Marvel DC on another YouTube channel. And one of his things is Lex Luthor and the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin points out, holds up one of his grenades and says, I built this off screen. I came up with it off screen. I blew something up on screen, and I made more money than your movie did. That's how I felt between the 2 Red Dots. It's like, they did a lot more scheming in this one and plotting, where in the original, and this all happened off screen. And then they went on screen and they killed Cubans. Yeah. And they made way more money. But overall, it's not a bad movie. If you want to see Red Dawn, I recommend go see it. Go make your own judgment on this movie.
The one thing that made me really laugh loud, which apparently... Okay, my girlfriend apparently says that I have a louder laugh than Martin.
Yeah, it's not true.
It's not true because Martin laughs very... I determined this after we got done talking to her about it. I determined that your laugh is just loud in a burst. My laugh is loud, like, continuously. Yours is just like, ha-ha! And then mine's like, ha-ha-ha-ha-ha.
Yeah.
Anyway, but at the point. So, there was this funny part that actually made me laugh in this movie when we were talking, is this guy has a whole case full of Rolling Rock beer. And so, Martin looked over to me and goes, really? Like, that's his beer of choice? Why? Why would anybody get that? Why? And then we were going back and forth, and it's like, well, maybe, like... They were cheap.
Yeah, because I hate Rolling Rock. I think Rolling Rock is a disgusting tasting beer. And he's like, maybe they're cheap. They just don't care what they drink. It's like, they bought Rolling Rock. That's not cheap. I can understand.
You're paying Rolling Rock prices to get Rolling Rock.
I can understand buying cheap, bad beer, but you're buying Rolling Rock, which is expensive bad beer.
That's in 30 minutes or less, too. It's in there. Maybe it's just actors like bad tasting beer.
It's possible. There are some really good parts about this movie.
Yeah.
They're in the subway when they run into a subway and they toss a bag at the guy and they say, "Sandwich artist, fill this with bread." And they start making other demands. And I had to point out in the car ride home that one of their demands was actually really quite disgusting because they're making these demands. It's like put turkey and the ham and they say tuna. Now, they're not making sandwiches. They're just throwing this into a garbage bag.
Yeah, all of it.
Throw tuna into a garbage bag. That tuna is now on everything.
Everything.
There is no saving any of this food.
The bread, the meat. If you hate tuna like I do, you are screwed.
You're not eating anything. And all their sandwiches had sauce on it when they were eating them.
Yeah, when they were eating it, because they cut after that to them in their little hideout thing, all the sandwiches were made, like as if they stood in line.
Yep.
And
they sat there and made sandwiches.
Made sandwiches. But the 2 lines that I liked were the 2 that I put on Facebook. Was the ones where
the Marines don't die, but they just go to hell and regroup.
The Marine, when they're in there, goes, "It's a good day to die," and one of the guys goes, "What? I don't want to die." And Chris Hemsworth goes, "It's okay. Marines don't die. They go to hell and regroup."
Yeah, that's a good line.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite one in this whole movie. And then, what was the other one? I can't remember the other one now. But we all laughed at that one. Yeah. Oh well, I'll remember it later.
Also, just to go back to comparing it to the original, they do have one identical scene to the original.
Yeah.
And that's when they're killing the deer. And I'm gonna give this one props for being a remake. And then to take a key scene of the original and just flip it the other way. Because in the original, it's actually that moment of you're going to drink the blood and you're going to ingest the spirit. Where in this one, it's they get him to drink the blood and then they laugh at it because they've never done it.
I like that.
It was a good moment. I like the fact that
That
they
was
took
funny.
that moment and flipped it.
That was funny. I don't know. We've never done it.
I could get sick. Overall, Red Dawn, good movie. Not great, but it was good.
I'm still gonna get it. I liked it.
I didn't even really care that much for the original. I thought the original was pretty good,
Yeah.
but also I'm not going to own that one. So, But if you want to see Red Dawn, go see it.
See, it happens. We do disagree on stuff.
We do have disagreements. But yeah, go see Red Dawn if you want to see it. If you're just even going like, I'm just going to go see a movie, go see Red Dawn. It's a good, just go see it kind of movie. Next up, we got Rise of the Guardians. This one was amazing.
So Martin figured out why I do what I do in movies and why I make fun of movies. Because we went and saw this with my parents.
Yep.
And they're louder than me and Martin, and they make fun of movies way, way more than we do.
I had a lot of fun with your parents.
Great.
It was a lot of fun. So, Rise of the Guardians. I liked this movie. This movie was amazing. We saw it in 3D, and it had good 3D.
It was great 3D.
It was. Great voice acting all around. A hilarious movie. They really just took the idea of these characters and just ran with it.
Yeah.
Communist Santa, Russian Santa, but
Communist Santa. I was talking about that with Courtney the other day. I was like, man, I wonder if they're like, let's see how close we can get to saying Santa's a communist before people get angry.
Yeah. And then you had Australian Easter Bunny.
That I was really happy with.
That was great.
Oh man, that was awesome. I'm really happy.
The Tooth Fairy had good voice.
Was a creeper
on Jack Frost.
Tooth Fairy was a creeper.
Jude Law, amazing villain. All in all, Rise of the Guardians, this was just amazing. I walked in there, didn't really have high expectations for this one, or I didn't even have low expectations. I just had the general, this is going to be a good time. It's not going to be
good
great.
family movie.
Yeah. And, we saw
Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah. We saw there was a dad and 3 kids, and that's all that was in this theater. This was Wednesday night. It's opening night. And it was actually nighttime. Not the matinee. This was night. And that was it in this theater. His parents are loud and making fun of this movie. Awesome. We're making fun of this movie.
It was just a good time for everybody involved.
His girlfriend was sitting at the far end and not making fun of anything.
No, she might have been. You couldn't hear her
over
through the line.
Yep.
Through the line when it got to us. But good movie. Really good message to a movie.
Yeah.
If you like that.
If you like that sort of thing. If you like the idea of the holidays coming together and fighting evil, it's perfect for that.
I like that.
I liked it too. I didn't know what I was going to get out of Rise of the Guardians, but I was really...
I like how much they pointed out that Santa only works one day.
Yeah, that was him and the Easter Bunny. They loved it. Because the other characters are the Tooth Fairy and the Sandman, and they loved pointing out that Santa and the Easter Bunny only work one day a year.
Yeah, and they work all the time.
Yeah, and they have to work every day.
It was great.
But no, seriously, if you got kids, go see Rise of the Guardians. You'll like it. They'll like it. See it in 3D. It's worth the 3D price.
Although, one thing that I thought would have been cooler, not that I had a problem with how it went down, but that I thought would have been cooler, spoilers, was in the movie, Sandman kind of gets taken over by...
Oh, yeah. Had he been turned...
Yeah. Gets taken over by... What's his name? The Boogeyman or
Pitch
whatever?
Black.
Yeah, Pitch Black. Gets taken over by his sort of sand power thing and turns black and then goes away. I thought it would have been cool if he would have turned him evil and the Sandman would have flipped around and worked as his man. I thought that would have been a cool thing, but...
Would have been a cool idea, but...
But I also wasn't sad about, him going away and then coming back at the end either, so...
I wasn't either. There's nothing...
Either way.
I have no huge complaints about this movie. About any aspect of it.
Me neither.
I mean... It's based on a pair of children's books, kind of merged together into one movie.
Although, the funny thing about us being in the theater, though, is in the beginning they have all the characters coming together, and my mom from downstairs goes, "Is this Martin's play?"
I did a play last Christmas about Santa. Essentially, Santa's a mob leader, and all of the holidays are his minions.
Yeah.
And he played the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, which I was really sad because after I saw this Easter Bunny, I was like, man, that'd have been awesome. If we ever do that again, I'm definitely going with an Australian accent. That just sounds awesome.
It did, and it was great. Hugh Jackman's the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin does Santa.
Communist Santa.
Communist Santa. And they're both really good. Like, go see this movie. Seriously.
Go.
It's...
Remember how we said Wreck-It Ralph that you should pause the video and go see it? Yeah, you should do that with this.
Do it with this one.
Like
Because we're
that.
almost done with this one.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Go.
Go see it. It's really good. Go help this movie do better in the box office. It came in at like number 4, and it should have done better. Twilight should not be number 1. We haven't seen it, but it shouldn't be number 1.
No.
I'm firm in my belief. Twilight is not the number 1 movie in America.
So-
not in my book. Not in his book.
Hold on. So, not this has anything to do with the 2 movies, but you brought up Twilight, and I thought it was a funny story.
All right, sidetracking Twilight.
So, I think it's really funny that most people who like Twilight are like, Harry Potter sucks. Twilight is so much better. They forget, however, that Edward, the main character in Twilight, was in Harry Potter.
He was?
In the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah?
He was, I forgot his name now, but he was...
I have no idea. I've only seen those movies once.
Yeah, but he was the other dude in Goblet of Fire.
He was one of the players?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I kind of know what he's talking about.
I thought it was funny now. I thought it was funny. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, that's really funny. I really just wanted to go to like a Twilight premiere. Well, I can't now, but
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to a Twilight premiere and be like, okay, who here likes Harry Potter? And like you get those 2 that hold their hand up. Edward's in Harry Potter, and walk away. And just see them go, bam! Oh no, he is!
But yeah, so Red Dawn, Rise of the
Christopher Nolan
Guardians.
has died to us children. Anyway, go ahead.
Red Dawn, Rise of the Guardians, go check them out.
Good movies.
For the rest of this year, I mean, Les Mis is really all that's officially left on the docket. I'm sure we'll see other movies.
Yeah.
We'll post about them.
Which Martin's going to have to see that without me.
Yeah, and you might have to see it without me. I might go see it again with him.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. They put up a new trailer for it.
I saw.
Oh, that trailer made me want to see it even more. 'Cause it showed more of the movie. So yeah. So check back with us. We still got coming up the best movies of all time. My top 5, his top 5.
Yeah.
None of them intertwine, which is fine. We're not the same person.
Yeah.
So we also have our 2013 wish list coming up.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that we have like the far ends of the spectrum in our top 5.
Kinda. So check back for those videos. Once again, if you want to tell us anything, tell us any movies you want us to check out, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, I'm Martin,
I'm Zach.
and we'll be seeing you around.
At the movies.
Maybe at the movies if you live in Wisconsin and happen to be at a movie we're at.
Movies.
Yeah.
Can I
Later.
have the last word,
Sure.
please?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
You're a jerk.
I know. Just say the last word.
Last word.
Make a better last word.
Huzzah!